and Mississippi Valley Delta Devils battle. Mississippi Valley won that contest 48-36. Then in 1985, Mississippi Valley returned to defeat Tennessee State 28-13. In 1986, Central State defeated Florida A&M 41-3. And last year, Central State returned to successfully defend the title against Tennessee State, winning that one 31-28. This year's matchup could prove to be a classic in itself. Florida A&M returns to gain respectability in the Classic after losing 2 years ago. The Rattlers bring a record of 2-1 into the game against Jackson State, who are undefeated with 2 wins and a tie. Now, Florida A&M is led by defensive lineman Brian Brewer, number 94, and linebacker Dwayne Butler. Also, kick returner Bill Huckabee, who continues to be a major threat as a return specialist, averaging 23.3 yards per punt return. The Tigers of Jackson State have won or tied 6 Southwestern Athletic Conference titles since 1980 and have made 6 trips to the NCAA Division I AA playoffs. Head coach W.C. Gordon enters his 12th full season with a career record of 92-34-4. The squad is coming off an 8-3-1 season and is led by All-American running back Lewis Tillman. Tillman broke Jackson State alum Walter Payton's single-season rushing record last year. So stay tuned as the Rattlers battle the Tigers from Indianapolis. Indianapolis, Indiana is the site of the 5th annual Circle City Classic. The Jackson State Tigers come into the Hoosier Dome today with a 2-0 run record against the Rattlers of Florida A&M. They are 2-1. Hello again, everyone. I'm Charlie Neal along with Lem Barney. And when you talk about an exciting event, an exciting affair, a whole week long of activities, the Hoosier Dome and the Circle City Classic is the way to go. But let's talk about the 2 teams that are playing here today. You know, you talk about Jackson State. They have won the last 2 or tied the last 3, actually, SWAC championships as far as football is concerned. What do you get for hard work? Well, here it is, a couple of rings. And this is what Jackson State is sporting right now. They're going to be like the Pittsburgh Steelers in a little while, be asking for one for the thumb. Jackson State coming in 2-0-1. Their first only tie was to Tennessee State. That was the opener of the season. One of the things coming into the game and to the season that Coach Gordon was concerned about was the fact that he had a very young team. He lost most of his starters on defense and half of them on offense. But he does have a new quarterback in Sean Gregory. Sean Gregory is the guy who he's depended on to lead that offense so far this year, and he has done a fine job so far. But the guy that everybody's talking about, a Heisman Trophy candidate, believe it or not, one of the real true Heisman Trophy candidates this year, Lewis Tillman. He's only like 652 yards from tying Walter Payton's all-time career rushing record at Jackson State. On the defensive side of the line, well, you got Cammie Collins at the linebacker spot. He is a good one, the leading tackler on this team and one of the leading tacklers in the nation. As far as the secondary, Kevin Dent is the man. He's the senior back there. He has been the guy who's had to put the glue together for Jackson State defensively. Now, when you talk about Florida A&M, Ken Riley surprised a lot of people this year. In fact, some people have picked them to win the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference.
Well, Charlie, in his 3rd year as tutelage as head coach for Florida A&M, senior quarterback Andre Williams was the man on the mountain, a fine option quarterbacker, has been replaced by a pro set quarterback, freshman quarterback Tony Ezel, who has a fine passing arm and has the ability to move the team with consistency. Sophomore wide receiver Ron Vickers, a player the coaches feel that can really become an impact player this fall, and he earned that starting spot by his heady play. The fullback, Sean Gilliam, a 2-time athlete as far as his football ability. He plays football in the fall, and he runs those bases during the spring. He's somewhat compared to that of Bo Jackson, an outstanding ball player. For the defense, Matt Fair, the safety, 2nd team All-MEAC in '87, a terrific ball player. Brian Brewer, the defensive All-American candidate for '88, will be the man that Jackson State will have to stop offensively if they're going to win this ball game.
Okay, Lem Barney, and the kickoff is just about set for this 5th annual Circle City Classic. You see number 12, that's the deep man for Florida A&M, the guy who's one of the leading kick returners in the nation. And that is Howard Huckabee. He's in the left side of your screen right there, the man who will be kicking off for Jackson State as they have it on the tee right now. This kickoff is sponsored by the U.S. Army. It's a place to be all that you can be. And kicking off is Billy Smith. And Huckabee will chase it down. But it will go out of bounds, and they'll have to kick it all over again. So the first play of the game will be delayed because of a penalty. We're live coming to you from Indianapolis, Indiana, the site of the Hoosier Dome and home of the Indianapolis Colts. Eric Dickerson and his crew. Here's your starting offensive alignment for the Rattlers of Florida A&M. Terry Buford, Robert Frost, Jamison, Jordan, and Gordon. They average 265 pounds up front. Huckabee, he is the split end. He's a good one. He's also back there to return the kick. Curtis Green is the tight end. He will start. And, of course, Sean Gilliam is the fullback. Derek Gaynor will get the call today to start at halfback in place of Chris Daniels. Lim, of course, mentioned Ronald Vickers. He is the leading receiver on the team with 8 receptions, 178 yards coming into today's contest. Again, the ball on the tee for Jackson State, and it will come down at the 10-yard line. And a reverse. They're trying to mix it up here early, Florida A&M, but not much happening as the special teams of Jackson State read that very well. Gerald McCullum was the man out of Warner Robins, Georgia, who got the handoff on the reverse. But not much happening as the special teams of Jackson State read it very, very well.
Michael Hobson on the stop. Fine tackle. Covered team stayed in their respective lanes, got down, made sure they had penetration. And a fine play by Michael Hobson, number 50 on the stop.
There's the defense of Jackson State. I mentioned Cammie Collins, the linebacker in the middle. Darian Connor also a good one. Kevin Dennis, the veteran back there. On the option, they pitch it out. This is Gaynor, and Gaynor knocked out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. Michael Wallace, one of the men who knocked him out of bounds. We're just underway here. As you look at the stats on Derek Gaynor, a senior, he's out of Plant City, Florida. A touchdown coming into today's contest. Just decided to mix it up just a little bit.
Well, as you know, sometime on the opening kickoff, first punt, razzle-dazzle sometimes has a tendency to work for you. But again, in that play, nothing at all.
Ezel, the quarterback, calling the signals for Florida A&M. And it's Gaynor again and stumbles across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. Derek Gaynor, a pickup of about 6 yards on that particular play. Will still be short by about 4. We'll call it 3rd down and 4. Charles Jackson grabbed him around the ankles to trip him up for Jackson State. Jackson, number 73, a left tackle out of Miami, a senior. As you look at Ken Riley, head coach in his 3rd year, 12-12-1 record coming into the game. Last year, they were 5-5-1. It is a 3rd down. The backs work out of the eye. Gaynor's the second back in the eye. Back to pass. Ezel. And he throws. Has a man open. He has the catch, but doesn't have enough for a first down, or does he? They're going to go right out of the 35. He's about a half a yard short. That's Curtis Green, 5th-year senior from Baghdad, Florida, Milton High, and he came into the game with 3 receptions, but it's going to be 4th down, 4th and inches. They may measure. He just could not get his body upfield because of the way the ball was thrown. He was wide open, though.
Wide open as well, Charlie. No pressure whatsoever applied to the quarterback.
Look how close.
Very close. That's why the game is called a game of inches. Life is hard by the yard, but a cinch by the inch. Take the inches in life.
Let's see if Ken Riley wants to gamble early in the ball game. I don't see the punting unit coming on. It looks like they're going to go for it. Or are they? Nope, they're sending the punter on. Sean Vaughn will go on, and he'll punt it. I should say Vaughn Wilson, rather, the punter. I'm in the wrong game. Vaughn Wilson will go on to do the punting. He's the 3rd leading punter in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. This is an intersectional rivalry. As you look at that stat, 8th in the nation in total defense. That is Jackson State. But Vaughn Wilson back to pass. averaging 37 point back to punt, averaging 37.3 yards per punt this year.
Good decision.
Not a good one.
A good decision by Coach Ken Riley to punt the ball instead of go for it. If they miss it, it could have a demoralizing effect on its offensive as well as its defensive team.
33-yard punt, and Jackson State will go on offense and get the ball first down and 10 at their own 32. First and 10 at their own 32. The Tigers of Jackson State will go to work. 2-0-1. They lost quarterback Shannon Boyd through graduation. They also lost Houston Hoover. As you look at the offensive line that averages 290 pounds. The receivers, good ones there. Lewis Tillman, a running back. Tillman has the ball and lost his shoe. Somebody lost his shoe down there in the pile.
We'll see who claims it.
But Lewis Tillman, no, he still has his shoe on, but somebody's shoe was left behind. One of the defensive linemen, that's Irvin Clark, number 76 from Florida A&M. He's the man that lost the shoe. Sophomore out of Quincy, Florida. Spent 3 years in the service before deciding he wanted to go ahead and play college football. Florida A&M 13th in the nation in Division I AA in pass defense, and that's what they've allowed. They're averaging giving up about 302 yards per game. As you look at Sean Gregory, the sophomore out of Steens, Mississippi, back to pass on first down with a man out there. Barnett, incomplete. He was trying to hit Tim Barnett. Covering defensively was Matt Fair, so they're two good ones going against each other. Matt Fair, probably the best man in the secondary for Florida A&M. Tim Barnett, and I'll tell you, Gregory really aired it out, didn't he?
He aired it out, Charlie, but again, he waited too long. He was open much earlier than what the ball was released at. However, again, you got to give Matt Fair a great deal of credit. Again, as I mentioned at the top of the telecast, second-team MEAC pick last year, a senior, high pro prospects. He's a good one.
Back to pass on second down. Pressure coming. They got the screen out in the flat to Tillman. He's still on his feet, but he's dropped for a 1-yard gain, or no yard gain. He lost about a half a yard. It'll bring up a fourth down. He lost about a half a yard on that. They tried to sell him a bill of goods. That is the Rattlers of Florida A&M, but they wouldn't buy because the heat was being applied by Winfred Hudson, the defensive end, number 90. So therefore, the punting unit will come on. Fred McRae, a sophomore out of Quitman, Mississippi. He was a first-team all-conference player in the SWAC a year ago. And he's averaging 38.7 yards per punt coming into the game. Just got it off. Gets a good one off.
Huckabee.
And it's being returned by Huckabee. Huckabee up the sideline. He could go. He cuts it back in. Still on his feet. Dances across the 40, 30, 25, 20. No flags. Touchdown, Florida A&M. The second touchdown this year by Florida A&M. Yards on the return by Howard Huckabee. He has returned a touchdown twice this year on punt returns. He had a 54-yarder and this one a 70-yarder. So as we said at the top, he's a threat to go all the way, and he did.
Yes, Charlie, here it is again. Elusive runner, cuts back, cross grain. He gets outside to the picket wall, and watch this nice nifty move coming back in. Maintains his balance, breaks another tackle, and from here, Charlie, it's off to the races. No one there but McRae.
And Bertuno with the point after makes it good, and it's 7-0. Florida A&M electrifying the crowd with 11:35 remaining here in the first quarter of play. 7-0, Rattlers. As a team, Florida A&M is second in the nation in punt returns. And Mr. Howard Huckabee leads the MEAC. I think he just helped his average a little bit. He was 23.3 yards per punt return coming in. As you look at Darrell Jones, his counterpart, and here's another young man who's a threat to go all the way. He has returned a kickoff this year, 83 yards against Mississippi Valley for a touchdown. So he's averaging 20.7 per kickoff return. It'd be something if we see a kickoff return for about 95 yards here, wouldn't it?
Could happen, Charlie. We boasted about the fine offensive and defensive teams that both the teams are sporting, but both have outstanding special teams.
At the 11, and he brings it out to the 33. A 22-yard return for Darrell Jones on the return. So Jackson State will get the ball for the second time this afternoon. This time at the 33, their own 33. And they will try to get something going. They trail 7-0 by virtue of a 70-yard punt return by Howard Huckabee. As you look at the quarterback, Sean Gregory, played in 1986. Mississippi High School baseball all-star game. He was a pitcher, so he's quite an athlete.
Yes, he is.
First and 10, fumble. Now who got it? It may be Florida A&M. No signal. No, Jackson State.
Gregory recovers.
He's on the bottom of the pile. A little bad snap between the center and the quarterback. Cedric McSwine is the center. I think that probably if you asked anybody about the offense of Jackson State and who they missed the most off of that offensive line, it's Houston Hoover.
Big
young
fella.
man who's playing, who probably will start tomorrow with the Atlanta Falcons.
An outstanding offensive lineman.
In fact, Lewis Tillman says I miss him more than anything. He's the running back, right?
Yes, he is.
Gregory going to the air, passes to Tillman out of the backfield, still on his feet and across the 40, and a gain of about 7 yards on the play. It'll be second down and about 6. Second and about 5. We'll call it second and 5. The ball spotted at the 40. Now Tillman, that's only the second pass that he has caught this year. Now coming into the game, he was averaging 6.1 yards per carry. He had run for 358 yards. That was an average of 119 per game. Tillman again, coming on the right sweep. Gets a first down across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Boy, he's finally tripped up by Irvin Clark, number 76, and it's a first down for Jackson State.
Convoy of blockers out front for Tillman. Lockridge and Tim Brown opening gaping holes. Good enough for the first and 10. Ball advanced on the other side of the 45-yard line. Look at the 46, first and 10.
Tillman in some pretty good company when you talk about school records. Guys like Walter Payton, Perry Harrington, Jeffrey Moore, Larry Cowan. As you look at W.C. Gordon, head coach of the Tigers, and Tillman again into the middle of the line, bounces outside and across midfield to the 49-yard line of Florida A&M. Lewis Tillman.
Charlie, you can see why he's just a few yards shy of Walter Payton's all-time record. Same style of runner. He twists, he turns, he bounces, and keeps those legs turning.
And he's quite a student, too. Has a 3.0 grade point average in marketing. He will graduate in December.
Have a couple quarters to lay back. Hope he doesn't just lay back. I hope he takes a few electives. Here he is again. Great individual effort.
It is second down. 6. Gregory going to the air. Throws. Has it to complete to Tillman. He dropped it. Never had possession. He was trying to turn upfield and get something going. Lowell Crawford standing there on top of him saying you should have held on. I would have got a good hop.
Number 95, linebacker Lamar Glover. I'm sure Lewis Tillman felt a little heat right here as he could see in his peripheral vision a little orange jerseys coming up. Third down.
3rd and 6. Ball right across the midfield stripe. Gregory again looking out of the backfield, overthrows the intended receiver Terry Harper, the fullback, and he paid the price just for being out there. There's Crawford again, the junior out of Miami's Northwestern High, the Lord of Boom. Ken Riley. Ken Riley was no slouch in his heyday as a player with the Cincinnati Bengals. Still holds, I believe, the school record at Florida A&M he was a quarterback in college. Passing percentage per game or in a game. Good blocking up front, good punt away. And here's Huckabee again. They skim him in this time at the 20. So you won't get through this time, huh? Warren Miller on the stop. Let's look at what Jackson State has been able to do over the years. 1980, they won outright. Or I should say they tied for the SWAC championship. 81, they won it outright. 82 outright. 85, they tied. 86 outright. And 87, we showed you the rings for 86 and 87 at the top of the telecast. The one on the left is for 85. The one on the right is for make that 86 on the left and 87 on the right.
88 forthcoming.
They hoping.
Yes.
A lot of teams in the SWAC that may have something to say about that.
No question about it.
Florida A&M on offense now, starting at their own 21-yard line.
Just don't get those rings just by wanting them to. A lot of dedication, pride, hustle, commitment to excel.
As you look at the stats on Ezell. This is the 10th meeting between these two schools. Jackson leads the series 6-2-1. They last met back in 1985. Jackson State won that one 28-23. Florida A&M distinguishes itself as being the only predominantly black institution. As you see the sack on the quarterback Ezell, and the man who got in there, 55, Cammie Collins, we talked about him, the senior out of Brookhaven, Mississippi. He had 12 individual tackles a week ago against Mississippi Valley. Look at him. That's the stats on him. Leading tackler on the squad. He had 9 sacks a year ago.
Get a chance to see the way defense should be played. There are 3 men that are eligible in the backfield to make the stop on Ezell. Again, Cammie Collins coming up, doing what he does best, putting a lot of shankles around the ankles of quarterbacks.
That's the 2nd sack for Cammie Collins this year. Brookhaven, Mississippi is his hometown. Brookhaven High. 3rd and a lot of yardage, 3rd and 18. Pressure again. He did get it off just in time, but the pressure being applied by Jackson State. Patrick Busby, a linebacker, number 91, just about got a hand on Ezell as he let the ball go. So to bring up a 4th down situation puts the punter in a hole. That is Vaughn Wilson, but he's pretty good. He hasn't had any block this year so far. Darryl Jones is the deep man as you look at Vaughn Wilson. Vaughn Wilson also is the long snapper on extra points and field goal attempt. He could snap it to himself maybe sometime if the center gets hurt.
Be like that at Popeye.
It's a good one off. He can hang him about 5. Good punt. Here's Darryl Jones trying to get down the middle, but not much happening. Flag is down. May see a clipping. Penalty held against Jackson State. 50-yard punt with about a 4.8 hang time. So not bad. As you look at the stats on Darryl Jones on that return, we'll see what the penalty is all about. It's going to be against Jackson State. I'm sure they're going to take the penalty. And while they are doing that, we'll take a timeout. 7:08 is the time remaining here in the first quarter of play. It's 7-0. Florida A&M is out in front. The referee almost fell. That turf will trip you up every time, won't it?
That's right.
Flipping on the run back. First and 10.
So they will start from their own 27, 28-yard line. 7:08 the time remaining here in the first quarter. Well, we thought we were going to take a timeout. Apparently we're not. Jackson State with the ball. Stands in there, has a man in the middle. It's complete. And down close to midfield is Greg Harris, the junior, out of Greenwood, Mississippi. There he is, 5'7", 174-pounder.
Gregory gets some fine blocking protection here. Play action pass from the I formation, freezes the linebackers. Vacated hole right behind the linebackers. Harris comes across on a dig pattern. Fine throw and catch combination, good enough for the first down. Ball is resting on Jackson State's 49-yard line.
So they got some breathing room after that big first down. Tillman on the carry. He doesn't, just about makes it back to the line of scrimmage. And that's it. The man who made the stop was Kenneth Johnson, a senior out of Thomaston, Georgia's Lee High School.
Offensive personnel didn't look like they was taking the charge to the defense. Defense played the charge on the other side of the line of scrimmage. As a result, no gain, brings up a 2nd and 10.
Indiana Black Exposition bringing black college football to the Midwest. Big crowd on hand for the 5th annual Circle City Classic as Gregory goes back on 2nd down. Looking, has a man in the seam, but just couldn't get it to him. The defense really closed quickly. The man in the seam was Ron Lewis, number 87, the junior out of Vicksburg, Mississippi. And we have an injured player down. It's a lineman, one of the offensive linemen for Jackson State, and that is James Leggett, the sophomore out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. In fact, that'll be a big blow if they lose him, because he started every game in '87 and was the most experienced offensive lineman they had coming back this year.
Dinosaur.
That's right, especially after losing guys like Houston Hoover and Hudson, Ken Hudson, Thomas Lowry, all those guys up front. And you had James Leggett, the most experienced man, coming back, so they can ill afford to lose him. Cedric McSwine, of course, is a veteran. He's been there a while. This week's game is being brought to you by Mobile Super Unleaded. Drive your engine clean with Mobile Super Unleaded. And by Budweiser, proud sponsor of the 1988 U.S. Olympic team. This Bud's for you. Miss Florida A&M, 1988. Here in the Hoosier Dome, enjoying all of the festivities. Her team ahead 7-0 right now. 6:01 the time remaining in the first quarter. Florida A&M leading. Jackson State facing a 3rd down 10 situation with the ball at their own 49-yard line. Gregory, play action again, has a screen. Here's a screen. And he has Darryl Jones coming out of the backfield. He will not get the first down as he gets inside the 45 to about the 43. But the pursuit from the orange and green was relentless, and they wouldn't let him get loose.
Fine team pursuit defensively for the Rattlers. They've played that way all day, and they know in order to beat Jackson State, they're going to have fine team pursuit. Again, the 3rd time that Jackson State has failed on the 3rd down possession. 0 for 3 in 3rd down possessions department.
Fred McRae, sophomore out of Quitman, Mississippi. He's gotten off a 62-yarder this year, but this one's more like a 2-yarder.
Why did he pick it up and run it? I know Coach was getting a lot of flack on that number 5. Had an opportunity. That's Hall.
And he is giving it to him right on the sideline. You see him?
That's Hall. He had an opportunity to field that ball and down the sideline. Nobody there but the cheerleaders, and they're not paid to make tackles.
Nobody around. And there's the standings of the MEAC. Florida A&M is 2-1. Of course, Howard University dropped down to 3-1 after that loss to South Carolina State a week ago. Bulldogs are 1-1. Bethune, Delaware State, and then Morgan. But on the SWAC side, here's Jackson State riding up top of the heat. Grambling, Prairie View, and Alabama A&M. Prairie View coming out with a big win over Southern a week ago. There's Mississippi Valley, Alcorn State, and Texas Southern still winless so far this season. 1st and 10, Florida A&M. He's up. Throws, overthrown. Should have been intercepted.
It is.
Intercepted. Mike Wallace from 60 Minutes, but there's a flag down.
You think that's the Mike Wallace from 60 Minutes?
Well, he'll play a full 60 minutes, believe me.
He certainly will. Terrific defensive back coming up with a very timely turnover.
Let's see what the penalty flag is all about. This is the first turnover of the ball game.
It's in the area of holding.
He just overthrew that man.
Ezel certainly did. He had 2 men that he could have selected to throw to. He overthrew his intended receiver.
And Huckabee finally ran him down from behind. And it's against
preliminary call, illegal procedure.
Jackson State will decline that penalty. They'll take the interception.
Illegal procedure. On the orange, refused, first down.
Mike Wallace with his first interception of the year, junior out of Silver Creek, Mississippi. And he set that one up. So Florida A&M digging themselves a little hole here.
They had fine field position after a real bad punt by McRae.
Jackson State at their own 47-yard line. Here's Gregory again with the play action. Steps up, trips up. Number 51 on the stop. Darrell Davis, the junior out of Pace High in Miami, Florida. That's the second sack, if you want to call it a sack, recorded by him this year, and a loss of a couple. It'll be second down and 12. 4:43 is the time remaining here in the first quarter. 7-0 the score.
Here it is again, Davis. Averts a blocker. Certainly did. Good thing he did. Gregory may still be running.
As they break the huddle. Gregory looking up. Flag is down. Holding. And he scrambles across midfield, but not enough for a first down, and it may be brought back anyway because of the penalty flag. Preliminary indication.
Get a chance to see who the guilty culprit is here offensively with the hole. Good blocking here. Didn't get a chance to see it. It may have been the center. Here's a flip also. Could have been called on Tim Barnett. Again, they'll like to take the holding. Second down and 22 now. Ball's on the 35-yard line of Jackson State. Find themselves trailing.
There's the officials for today's game. Donald Pinker is our referee. And the rest of his crew. The umpire, linesman, line judge, back judge, and the field judge. Back to pass, Gregory. Pressure. Gets away from one pressure. Loses the ball. Loses his shoe. Florida A&M has it. It's recovered by number 23, Marcus Boston. The pressure, I believe, was applied, what was it, 90? To put the pressure on Winford Hudson. Let's see. Maybe we'll see it once again. But the pressure was coming. Maybe Curtis Green. Let's watch it.
Get a chance to see it again. Had something going.
90.
Number 90, relentless with his pressure. He verts him. Tries to step up the throw. He kept his pursuit going. Comes up. Causes the fumble. Again, Boston, number 23. Recovered the fumble. Florida A&M had the ball in fine position. Jackson State's 25.
They're looking for the blitz, and they fumble the ball. Ezel did not do a good job, or the running back, I don't know what was going on there. They had a little mix-up going offensively there as the ball was handed off. Cammy Collins creating havoc defensively for Jackson State. Loss of 2, second down. Seemed like they didn't have their act together as who was supposed to get that ball that time.
You take it, no, I got it. You take it, no, I got it.
That is Tony Ezel. Lone setback. Spreads out to the right, under pressure. Cammy Collins is there for Jackson State. Rod Moore is there. Number 81, Cammy Collins, number 55. And also Pat Busby, number 91. All there for the Tigers of Jackson State.
Again, fine defensive play. Here's Cammy. Blitzing. Continues his pursuit. Busby pulls up. First man that makes the hit. And you got help from your teammates coming. A loss of loss of about 4 on the play.
2:34 remaining. Third down. 17. Ball at the 31-yard line of Jackson State. 2:25 left first quarter. Each team has turned the ball over once. Ezel knows where to go and may have taken him out of field goal range.
Busby again.
Number 91, Busby, a sophomore out of Waynesboro, Mississippi. Went to Clara High there in Waynesboro. number 91, 6'2", 227. Well, they may try to field goal. I said they may have taken him out of field goal range, but Bertuno is coming on. He is perfect so far in field goals this year, 4 for 4, but now they changed their mind. It's a little bit too far. It would have been about a 52, 57-yard field goal attempt. So they have brought Vaughn Wilson on, the punter, to do the punting. Darrell Jones, of course, is a deep man for the Tigers of Jackson State. He tries to kick it for the corner. It's going to die inside the 10, 5, and at the 3-yard line is where the ball will roll dead. 35-yard kick for Vaughn Wilson. A minute 15 remaining here in the first quarter. Looking at the penalty situation, Jackson State 3 times for 45 yards so far. Jackson State, by the way, Lem, is the most penalized team in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Coming into the game, they've been penalized 48 times for a total of 455 yards. That averages out to 16 penalties a game, 157 yards.
They're going to have to cut down on those unnecessary penalties.
As you look at Sean Gregory, team working out of the eye. Tillman, or is it Jones?
Tillman.
That's Tillman on the carry. Trying to get him a couple of yards. He does get out to the 7. It'll be second down and about 8. Under a minute to go, first quarter. Jackson State came into the game ranked number 1 in the conference in total offense, 2nd in running, 3rd in passing, 15th in the nation in run offense, and 13th in the nation in scoring offense. And it's Tillman out across the 10 to about the 12-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd down. 3rd and about 3. We'll call it. Tillman, I mentioned that elusive speed came into the game with 2,911 yards rushing, 23 touchdowns. He only received 3 as the clock is winding down to 5 seconds left here in the first quarter. They may not get this play off. They will not. If they're watching the clock, they let them get it off. I just can't believe it. The clock was down to 0, and they let them get it off. And they carried the ball for a first down. Looked like the clock was going to run out, but it didn't. Maybe the clock on the field is different than anybody else's, but they still haven't decided to this end of the quarter. Now they do. Timeout on the field. 7-0. Rattlers of Florida A&M. Jackson State with the first down. When we come back at their own 16-yard line. Howard drops from 1st to 4th. North Carolina Central is at 5th. They remain the same. Grambling moved up to 6th. Florida A&M moved up from 10th, and Albany State moved up from 8th. Bowie from 15th, and Southern dropped from 6th. It is first, make that first down and 10. Flag is down. We'll probably have an offsides against Florida A&M as Tillman gets to carry. One of the linemen on the left side might have been Herbert Moore, number 79. Let's see. May have jumped a little prematurely. Encroachment.
Sure, they replayed it down. 1st and 10. Take the 5 yards. Official will reward them.
Talking things over with Tim Brown, the offensive captain there. Right guard for Jackson State. Here's Harwood Huckabee.
Defense. First down.
That young man is the reason this game is 7-0 now. Electrified the crowd, as you mentioned. 70-yard punt return.
So it's 1st and 5 for Jackson State. This is a drive that started at their own 5-yard line after the good punt by Vaughn Wilson. Sean Gregory running the offense for the Tigers of Jackson State. Here's Tillman again. Gets ahead of steam, and he's gone. There he goes. And there's a flag down, though. Unfortunately, we may have holding.
It's certainly in that area where holding would be called.
That's what Tillman does best.
That's what he is all about.
You see him get that head of steam up when he turned upfield?
He kept his shoulders parallel to the line of scrimmage, Charlie, and after he got past the linebackers, he just put on those afterburners.
We were talking about, you know, what a nice kid he is as we listen to our referee explain what happened. We talked about the fact that he misses Houston Hoover a lot. He was one of his best buddies. He says,
holding on the offense, still first down.
He says, I don't like to talk about me. I like to talk about my teammates because they helped me get to where I am. So I said, have you taken your lineman out to dinner? He says, no, but I was invited to a cookout, and the person who invited me said I could bring somebody with me, so I brought my offensive line.
Yes.
That's Conway Heyman you were looking at there. He's slimmed down about 100 pounds, hasn't he?
Leaving Prairie View. Yes, he did.
He was the head coach at Prairie View. He is one of the main reasons why that Florida A&M offensive line has done such a good job. This is Darryl Jones skipping outside. And Darryl Jones finally brought down by Lowell Crawford, number 7. Jones out to about the 18-yard line.
And a further note on Lewis Tillman, Charlie, he's a very unselfish player, and I tell you what, he's the kind of ball player that all coaches would like to have. He's an outstanding student athlete, sporting a 3-point average.
And he's going to graduate in December.
Hope he takes some type of accounting courses as an elective, because he's certainly going to need it once he makes all that money, once he gets into professional life.
We talked about, you know, all the yards he's gained. He didn't even play the one game in the '86 season. He got hurt after the first game or in the first game. He'd only gained 13 yards, and they redshirted him that year. Just think if he'd have played the whole season. Timeout on the field. 7-0, Florida A&M. 13-16 remaining here in the second quarter. Penalty is going to be against Irvin Clark, and Jackson State gets a break. They dropped the flag immediately because he hit him squarely, didn't he? Watch it.
Yes, he did. Had a good chance of picking it right off of his foot. His momentum sort of carried right into the punter. Get a chance to see him again as he comes into your frame. There he is.
Boom.
Boom. Momentum. He's got to jump and got to leap toward his foot rather than toward his body. Pick it right off of his foot. However, this roughing the kicker penalty will keep the drive alive for Jackson State.
Certainly will.
Roughing the kicker on the defense. First down.
There was no hiding the fact of who did it.
As large as he is, you can't hide that one.
Mr. Clark, sophomore out of Quincy, Florida, Shankside. So the drive stays alive as Gregory, who's 4 for 9, 35 yards, has to try to get his offense moving with 12:21 remaining here in the second quarter. 7-0 Florida A&M. Second man is Tillman. Tillman squeezes out a couple of yards out to about the 39-yard line, rather. A gain of about 3.
Richard Wright, one of the offensive linemen, don't look like he put a lot of pressure then on the defensive personnel. Was very ineffective then on the play. Again, 3 yards were gained basically on an individual effort.
Gregory came into the game. We talked about his poor performance so far, leading the conference in passing and total offense. The offensive line of Jackson State being overpowered by the defensive line. The defense of Florida A&M, Kendrick Meek, is one of the men there on the stop. And he's playing behind a good one, Brian Brewer.
Certainly is. All-American candidate for 88. They bring in their pass defense now, somewhat of a nickel.
And you see, they notice they take Tillman out on passing situations and normally bring Darryl Jones in.
It is a mixed direction play. Started one way, end up the other way. There's Meek, number 99 on the stop.
3rd and 6. Gregory, 4 for 9. Throws in and out of the hands of the intended receiver.
Look like I have a flag on
tight end, Darren Easterling. And that'll bring up a 4th down. Incomplete. So 4 of 10 for the quarterback Gregory, as Easterling couldn't hold on to it. And as you look at the 3rd down conversions, Florida A&M 0 for 3. Jackson State 2 for 5, but they've been aided by penalties in a couple of those situations. So again, Fred McRae will come on to do the punting. Howard Huckabee will be the deep man standing at his own 20. McRae has been getting off some good ones, though, so far this afternoon, as far as hang time is concerned. That was about a 4-6 hang time. And it'll die just at about the 24-yard line. First down and 10. Some of the crowd on hand here. Florida A&M leading Jackson State 7-0. Quarterback in the lineup now for Florida A&M. They're going with Andre Williams. Now, when you talk about the two, now he has experience. Andre Williams is more of an option-type quarterback, where Ezell is more of a passing-type quarterback. And I look along the bench to see if I see anything wrong with Ezell, but as I said, he likes to run the option. So if they're going to keep the ball on the ground, you'll see Andre Williams run the offense a little more. He's a senior out of Northwestern High in Miami. Played in a couple of games so far, 2 of the 3 games. And as far as running, he's run for 2 touchdowns so far for the Rattlers of Florida A&M. And passing, he hasn't done that well, and has not thrown a touchdown pass. 15 of 32, only 46%, and he's thrown 4 interceptions. So that's the story on Andre Williams. Time of possession, but Florida A&M has the lead on the scoreboard. Williams again. Looked like a mix-up in the backfield. He may get something out of this. He gets across the 30 to the 31 and 32-yard line. Gains about 3 or 4 yards, so it looked like a busted play.
It was, and he had a missed tackle in the backfield. Defense had penetrated. It was a mix-up. Get a chance to watch it again. He looked like the fullback should have came on the other side. Looked like he reversed the wrong way, which are some things that will go awry when a new quarterback comes into the ball game. A little disoriented. Shouldn't be, however. Brings up a 3rd down. 2 situation. Balls resting on the 32-yard line of Florida A&M.
Andre Williams. He wants to go to the air. Has a screen. And off and running is Derek Gaynor. First down to the 39-yard line of Jackson State. Gaynor, the senior from Plant City, Florida, on the screen, 28 yards.
Screen executed perfectly. Here's a bill of goods that's being sold to the defensive lineman. Gaynor, recipient, left flat, good blocking, picks up his convoy of blocking, now he's off to the races.
Finally brought down by Mike Wallace and Steve Gregory.
It is again. Gregory and Wallace double teaming on the tackle. 1st and 10, 39-yard line of Jackson State.
Straight ahead this time they go to Sean Gilliam, the junior out of Tallahassee's FAMU High. Darian Connor, the junior, made the stop, number 56. You see in your picture. He was an all-conference player a year ago. Here's Connor. Prairie Point, Mississippi is his hometown.
Jackson State has always had outstanding linebackers.
Jackie Walker, they said that he may be the best linebacker since Jackie Walker. He's a returning starter.
They lost 7 starters from their defensive unit.
7 or 8, they sure did. Option again. Here's Gaynor. Gaynor close to not enough. They'll be about 3 yards shy at the 31, 32-yard line. You talk about some of those people they lost. They lost 3 in the secondary. There was Carl Johnson. You remember him?
Yes.
Cedric Moses and Stanley Pickett. 2 on the line, Big Al Goss and Dietrich Wise. And then a couple of linebackers, Andre Lloyd, who was the co-defensive player of the year in the SWAC, and Dennis Connor.
That's 7 of them.
That's 7.
Only 4 returning starters. Sort of soft then on the right side defensively. Good force, but no feel and no containment. As a result, Gaynor was able to gain about 6 yards on the play.
So to bring up a 3rd down, and straight ahead is Gilliam. And Gilliam runs for the first down inside the 30 to about the 28-yard line. Sean Gilliam, a junior out of Tallahassee, came into the game with a couple of touchdowns and a 4.0 per carry average. There he is, number 36.
Two-sport athlete, finds himself running that football during the fall last year, averaged of 4.7 yards per carry, and ended up with a 358 whopping batting average. He runs the bases in the Springs, and they put him in a parody of that of Vincent Bo Jackson.
Another addition, we talked about Conway Heyman doing a good job at that line, was Ken Schofield. They brought in as the offensive coordinator and running back coach. He coached at Florida State, played among other schools.
Fumble! Turnover.
Jackson State gets it. Andre Williams, second turnover of the ball game. Pat Busby, he's been playing a whale of a ball game.
Watch him. Get a chance to see him how well he should play the option. Get a look at it. Here he is, standing in the hole. He's got a man. That's his assignment. Quarterback. Good head on tackle.
Put that helmet right on the ball.
Yes, he did. Perfect picture perfect one-on-one tackle. Put that helmet right where that ball was. Ball popped out. Alertly, Jackson State recovers the fumble. 1st and 10 at its own 30-yard line.
So the second turnover for the Rattlers of Florida A&M. Jackson State trailing 7-0 with 7:13 remaining in the first half. Gregory, man open, has it complete. And it's Barnett. And Barnett has a first down across the 40 to about the 41-yard line.
I'm sure Coach Gordon feels that this is what Gregory should do. A little more play-action passes. Here it is from the I formation, and you're going to basically get a lot of play-action passes from the I formation. Freezes the linebackers, however they want to blitz in. One-on-one coverage. Number 17 for the Rattlers, playing a little soft.
William Evers.
Barnett comes up with the first down reception.
Out of Gunnison, Mississippi. 1st and 10. Uh-oh. Now figure this one out.
Yes.
It's probably going against Jackson State, because even though Florida A&M moved,
they weren't set.
That's right. Illegal motion. Here it is. The turnover situation so far in the game.
How you doing, doctors? Look who's in the booth, Charlie. Some old friends of ours.
Ken Freed, commissioner of the MEAC. Dr. James Frank, commissioner of the SWAC, of course.
Always good to see you.
Third, make that first down. 15. Tillman. Tillman to the 40-yard line. We saw a graphic a moment ago on the turnover situation. It was just reversed. Florida A&M has 2 turnovers. Jackson State has 1. Florida A&M turned the ball over on an interception and a fumble. Jackson State turned it over on a fumble. So it's 2nd down and 10. 6:03 remaining. Throws. Barnett again. And Barnett has another first down inside the 45 to the 44-yard line. So Barnett has been the favored son so far. Kenneth Johnson making the stop for Florida A&M. Let's watch Barnett go to work.
Again, Charlie, we can't see it because we're isolated on Barnett. But again, it's play action fake. It's going to freeze those linebackers. The linebackers have been mostly active all day trying to stop Tillman. And if you freeze him, here it is. Linebackers got to honor this. They come up. Now Barnett has entered into a vacated spot where the linebacker should have been, dropping back in pass defense, back to live action.
Here's Darryl Jones. And Darryl Jones is stopped after a loss of a couple by Kenneth Johnson with 5:15 remaining. 7-0 is the score. Looks like Florida A&M was getting ready to make some wholesale changes on defense, but they did not. There's we're sitting high above all the activities here. And
who are these guys?
Just enjoying it.
Hello.
Here we go. Well, there was a mix-up on the run there on the pattern. Barnett turned it up. Gregory threw it out. It's 3rd down. Still 3rd long.
Little too much time in developing. Yes, he has. He's got all day right here. But again, as Charlie mentioned, a mix-up on the pattern, the directions. Barnett turned it in. Gregory throws the ball outside. As a result, incompleted forward pass brings up a 3rd down 11. Ball is at the 45-yard line of Florida A&M.
With 4:38 left, first half. Got a good halftime show for you anytime Florida A&M and Jackson get together. Nobody there, maybe intentional grounding.
Incomplete.
And the referees are conferring. The linesman, the line judge, yes, they're going to get him intentional grounding. There was nobody with a white jersey anywhere near the ball. Intentional grounding, that's also a loss of down, but it's going to bring up a 4th down anyhow. But they'll tack on some yards.
Yes, they will. Good heat applied by the defensive lineman. As you see, number 90, relentless in his approach. Puts the pressure on, and finally,
Elsie.
Oh, he's at Hudson.
Make that Hudson.
Intentional grounding on the offense. Loss of down. What we got?
Shows you what you can do if you're a young defensive lineman. Never say stop. Never give up. Always apply the pressure. As a result, Gregory forced into an intentional grounding penalty. Bring up 4th down and 27.
The old man that's already run back a punt today for 70 yards for a touchdown is accounted for the only score of the day. The punt. Good kick by McRae. But the bounce. Takes a fan bounce to the 20. And that's where to go out of bounds. Florida A&M will go to work, 1st down and 10 at their own 20. Again, we say stay with us for halftime. Showtime. This should be a good one. Florida A&M marching band, the Sonic Boom of the South, the Jackson State University marching band. Plus, we'll be going back to our studios in Alexandria, Virginia with Doris McMillan. We'll give you some updates on some of the big games being played around as far as black college football is concerned today. We'll try to get you up to date on some of those scores. SWAC, MEAC, SIAC, and MEAC. CIAA also. Andre Williams still in at quarterback as Gaynor hurdles the pile in the open field, gets a 1st down, and bowls his way to the 40-yard line. A gain of 20 on the play. Derek Gaynor, 20-yard gain on that run.
Bad execution of tackle. They had it stopped right at the point of attack. Again, Gaynor continues to keep those legs churning. Gained out 20 yards on the play from the 20 to the 40, 1st and 10.
4 minutes remaining, first half of play, 1st and 10 at the 40. Ezel out. Andre Williams in at quarterback for the Rattlers. This time they go to Sean Gilliam, the fullback, the junior from Tallahassee. And he gains maybe a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Charlie Neal and Lem Barney. We're at the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis, Indiana. It's the 5th annual Circle City Classic. Next week we'll be traveling down to Tiger territory again. We'll be around these Tigers a lot. Tennessee State Tigers against the Grambling State Tigers. And that game will be played on Grambling State's campus. And we'll be down there. It'll be 8 o'clock Eastern time next Saturday right here on BET.
Robinson Stadium.
Robinson Stadium. We were there when they opened it.
Certainly was. Did inaugural game. Misdirection.
And here's Gaynor again, and Gaynor gets to the 45, a gain of 4. It'll be 3rd and 5. 3rd down and 5. Of course, whenever you come to events such as this, the Circle City Classic, we have all kinds of superstars that show up. Gregory Abbott just walked in the booth.
Greg, good to see you. How you doing?
He has a great album out, and we'll be talking to him about that. We're going to let him dress up in the headsets. Maybe he'll want to call a little bit of the game. I don't know. How much you know about football, Greg? He just got that off as he was tipping and falling. Andre, they're going to call it a sack. The quarterback's going to call it a sack. There's Greg. 3rd down and 5. Greg Abbott Let's talk about the album a minute. How's it going?
Well, it's going real well. We just released a new album, and the second single off that album is going real well.
That's good.
You bringing the free copies with you, Greg?
I think they do. But what's the matter with you buying them?
Are you doing a promotional in this area? Promotions in this area?
No, I just came in for this, and then we're back to New York, and then we're going out of the country for a while. We're going to Russia, in fact.
Great. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere.
Absolutely.
Here's Darryl Jones. He's going to let it go. Hope it goes in the end zone, and it just does.
Smart play.
Ooh, it just made it. There's a timeout on the field. 1 minute, 52 seconds. We're at the Hoosier Dome, Indianapolis. It's the 5th annual Circle City Classic. Charlie Neal, Lem Barney, and, of course, our special guest in the booth right now, Greg Abbott. Where can I get a voice like yours so I can make some records?
Well, you started in the shower.
Okay, we'll be back. Score, Charlie Neal, Lem Barney, Greg Abbott here. And Greg, you enjoyed the game so far?
Yeah, it's been...
You played a little sports in college, didn't you? Or high school and all?
Yeah, in high school and college I played basketball. Yeah.
Short as you are? Oh, you must have been a terrific guard.
Oh, I get up there. I get up there.
Here's Gregory back to pass. First down, has to complete to Darryl Jones. He stumbles. Only gains about 3 yards after all of that. As you look at some of the J sets, they'll be performing for you at halftime. We've got a whale of a halftime show. You don't want to miss this one, Greg.
I hear it's going to be the Battle of the Bands.
The Battle of the Bands, the Battle of the Girls, the Battle of everything. I'll tell you.
Well, I noticed the cameramen keep going to the pretty girl faces.
Hey, wouldn't you?
Smart cameraman.
I guess so.
Minute and 26 is second down. Gregory back to pass. When are you coming in to do a show with Donnie? On Video Soul.
I just did that not too long ago, and
okay.
I think we'll be doing it again real soon. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. I'm sure you, the fans around the country, especially those in your part of the business, enjoy Video Soul. It helps get a lot of your records out there and lets the community and the people out there who are buying your records know what's going on.
Yeah, that's true. They've been really good to me, and of course they play the videos and run nice interviews and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Third down. Gregory back to pass again. He's under pressure, throws it, and nobody is there. He throws it in the seam. It'll bring up a 4th down situation. You ever want to do some play-by-play?
I don't know if I can do it like you, but I tell you, I get confused every time you say Gregory threw a pass. I was getting my ego boost.
You're wondering whether you were up here or down the field, right? Well, it's always good seeing you. We wish you a lot of luck. What is the new single called?
It's called Let Me Be Your Hero.
Let Me Be Your Hero. And the album?
And it's the album's called I'll Prove It to You.
Okay. We wish you a lot of success with it. As just before we go to halftime, Fred McRae is going to punt it here.
And speaking of heroes, here's the only hero in the game back to return the punt. Huckleby.
But he won't get to it. Look at it. He goes out of bounds or bounces near the far sideline. It'll be dead at about the 48-yard line. So they will take over when we come back. We thank Greg Abbott for staying with us for a few moments here and wish you a lot of luck in the future. We'll be back. More Hoosier Dome action in a moment. Dedicate this game to an extra special person. ESPN. That's exactly where she's going. Nicole, an extra special person. Good luck. We're going to miss you. Nicole is up in the booth. We'll get a shot of her before the game's over. Everybody always asks, where's Nicole everywhere we go? Nicole is leaving us. It's our loss, ESPN's game, and we wish her a lot of luck. Andre Williams.
Fine coverage downfield by the secondary. Quarterback Andre Williams had time enough to peel an apple as well as eat it, but finally decided to run a little too late. Coming up with the stop, as you see, Charles Jackson on the stop. Here he is looking downfield, picks his nose, and now
there he goes again, but not a good pass intended for Daniels. Coming out of the backfield, Chris Daniels, number 3, was the closest Rattler to it. And to bring up a third down with 37 seconds, the clock does stop with the incompleted pass.
Cammy Collins, number 55, on the coverage.
But Jackson State has every defensive back they could find, and some that are not even on the roster back there.
They give me number 26, I'll go back out and help cover.
Was that your number in college?
Yes,
26.
Sir. Yeah. Lem is wearing it now.
Your son, yes. He's wearing number 26. Slot formation to the right. They go with the draw straight ahead with Sean Gilliam, and that doesn't go anywhere. 4th down, 30 seconds. Clock running. They'll probably just get a chance to punt it. Maybe they won't, depending on when the referee chops the clock.
Obviously, Jackson State don't want to try for another attempt. They're going to let the clock run out as well. 19 seconds and ticking.
Well, they probably won't get this off. just punt off. If I was the coach of Florida A&M, I wouldn't even let him kick it.
I wouldn't either.
Just for the simple reason that why take a chance with a man running it back? Just let the clock run out. That's right. So as the first half comes to an end, Florida A&M is held on, and they are leading by a score of 7-0. Stay with us for our halftime showtime, being brought to you by Toyota. We'll have the Jackson State and Florida A&M bands and much more. Quality. Who could ask for anything more? Toyota. Now at the field is the Jackson State University Marching Band. They call themselves the Sonic Boom of the South. 168 strong, under the direction of Dowell Taylor, the drum major. The head drum major is Ira Vaughn. Their dancers are called the J-Sex, and their show theme is exquisite visions of musical excellence. Let's sit back and enjoy the Sonic Boom of the South, the Jackson State University Marching Band. Dome, the 5th annual Circle City Classic. You just saw the J-Sets doing their thing. And we'll be back with more of our Toyota halftime in just a moment. Stay with us. We're at halftime at the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis, Indiana. Jackson State University marching band just left the field. The Sonic Boom of the South. Well, you get ready for one of the all-time great bands. Not that Jackson State is not a good one, but Florida A&M has a reputation. As you look at Tracy Burns, he is the head drum major for the Florida A&M Marching 100. They're 245 strong. The band won the Sudler Trophy back in 1985 for combining musical excellence with innovative marching routines. And that award was presented by the John Philip Sousa Foundation. They're under the direction of Dr. William P. Foster. He has been the band director for over 40 years. Their showtime theme is contemporary exploration of designs and sound textures. The Florida A&M Marching 100, 245 strong.
Contemporary exploration of design and sound textures. The music that will be used to accompany this opening multi-drill consists of Johnny Kemp's Just Got Paid, Clifton Williams, the Symphonians, and one of John Philip Sousa's great marches that, through an act of the United States Congress, is now our national march. It is ever popular, Stars and Stripes Forever March. We're so very proud to present our very talented piccolo section. diversity during our halftime performances that we perform for our audience, a song that has become very popular over an extended period of time. With Maestro William P. Foster conductor, please enjoy the super popular hit by Mr. Keith Sweat entitled Make It Last Forever. Takes two in the ring. If it isn't love, the butt, and supersonic 100. Now is the time. Yes. Bam. It has certainly been our pleasure in performing for you on the stage.
Florida A&M marching 100 band, and we'll be back with more halftime activities in a moment. We'll be sending you back to our studios in Alexandria, Virginia.
Dexatrim's amazing.
But first, the game you're watching features two teams ranked in this week's Sheridan Top 10, Florida A&M and Jackson State. Now, both teams are coming off big wins from a week ago, and they are looking to stay on a roll. Let's take a look at the first half highlights. In first quarter action, Jackson State will punt to the leading punt return team in the nation. Howard Huckabee, number 12, is the deep back. He'll take the punt, sprint up the sidelines. No, he cuts back inside. There he goes. He takes the ball 70 yards. What a long run for the touchdown. That is one happy man. The score, 7. Florida A&M, Jackson State zip. And what's nice about this, let's go to the late in the first quarter. Jackson State sophomore quarterback Sean Gregory goes to pass, but he's pressured by Rattlers number 90, Winfred Hudson, and fumbles the ball. But the ball is recovered by FAM's number 23, Marcus Boston. Now, this is a defensive struggle. Jackson State is 8th in nation in total defense, but FAM is playing some tough defense of its own. When we come back, we'll take a look at some other scores in today's game. Stay with us. Has 7, the number 2 ranked Jackson State Tigers 0. Tuskegee University is shut out by number 8 ranked Albany State, and Bowie State off to its best start since 1975. That's when they went 9-1. That's a final 14, 10-7. In CIAA action, Virginia State shuts out Livingstone College 26-0. That is a final. And Virginia State's quarterback Rudy Elliott goes for 107 yards in rushing, 143 yards passing. And what makes that so nice is it's Virginia State's homecoming. Morehouse College is also shut out by Hampton University 28-0. That's a final. Russell Johnson had a big day, leading the Pirates by passing for 166 yards. Turning to SIAC scores, Lane College loses to Alabama A&M. Final score there, Alabama A&M 17, Lane College 0. And those are the scores as they stand right now. We're going to take you back to the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis, Indiana with Charlie Neal and Lim Barney. Enjoy the second half.
Odious, contemptible,
7-0 Florida A&M on top of Jackson State. And the young lady you see there is our extra special person, Nicole, going to ESPN, leaving BET. And we've enjoyed the relationship we've had with Nicole over the last couple of years. She's going to be almost impossible to replace. She's done everything: pull cable, run camera, run and got cigarettes and sodas, the whole bit.
It's truly an extra special person.
Yes, indeed. And let's look at some of our halftime statistics from today's ball game. It's been a defensive battle so far, as you can look at the total yards amassed by both teams. When you add up the net yards, Jackson State has a total of 82, while Florida A&M has a total of 56. And the net yards passing, these are net yards rushing and net yards passing, and that is not too good either way around.
No, it doesn't typify the great offenses of both these terrific high-powered offensive teams. But again, as you mentioned, the tone has been set by the defense and by the special teams.
Well, you look at the Coach Gordon on the sideline. You know, coming into today's ball game, Jackson State had given up 3 touchdowns rushing, 2 touchdowns passing, while Florida A&M's defense had given up a total of 8 touchdowns rushing and 1 touchdown passing. Again, like I said, it's been a defensive battle. The lone touchdown was scored on a punt return. That went for 74 yards by Howard Huckabee. That's the official record now, that it was 74 yards. Both teams, the penalty situation, as we mentioned, has hurt Jackson State. They've been penalized 6 times, while Florida A&M has been penalized only twice in the ball game. Jackson State leads the Southwestern Athletic Conference in penalties. So, again, what do you look for in the second half? They've changed quarterbacks. It is Florida A&M from the young man they started with, Ezell, and they went with Andre Williams.
Well, I look for Jackson State offensively to come back with some play-action passes. Again, that's really been the mainstay for them offensively. It's froze those linebackers. The outside receivers have had a chance to curl in, curl out, and run crossing patterns to somewhat confuse the defense. And I look for somewhat of the same in this second half.
Ken Riley talking to one of the game officials. And this second half kickoff is being presented by Sure. Be sure about odor as you are about wetness with Sure.
Don't ever let them see you sweat.
Don't let them. Vertuno has the ball on the tee to kick it off to start the second half for Florida A&M. Darrell Jones is the deep man for the Jackson State Tigers. It'll come to Jones at the 9-yard line. And Darrell Jones up across the 20 and down to the 27-yard line. So a 16-yard return for Darrell Jones before Green made the stop for Florida A&M. Lee Green out of Tallahassee.
Well, we got this time in the break in action. I'd like to say hello to a dear friend of ours and a great supporter of college athletics and BET, Lee Elder and his family in Washington, D.C., who had to withdraw from one of the tournaments he was playing in this weekend.
Oh, he's watching there, huh?
Yes, he is.
Tillman broken tackles after being held in the first half. He picks up a first down on the first carry of the second half. Tillman only 33 yards on 10 carries in the first half. His longest run was 6 yards. He just gained 10 on that one and picks up a first down. First and 10, Jackson State. Sean Gregory, who's gone all the way at quarterback. Lewis Tillman must have got an extra dose at halftime in the locker room.
Gatorade, that is.
First and 10, play action. Gregory wants to throw it a little short for the intended receiver. He was trying to hit Greg Harris, the flanker, the junior out of Greenwood, Mississippi, but it was a little too low. They isolate on Harris.
Here's an isolation on Harris. Covered quite well by Bill Evers. Good coverage. Bad thrown pass.
Just a little bit too low.
Yes, it was. Again, Gregory continues with his inconsistency. Bring up a second down and 10. Ball is at the 39-yard line of Jackson State University.
Both backs moving up close to the line. Look like it may be a screen of some sort. And they throw in the middle and throw behind the intended receiver. And I'll tell you, Evers really laid one on Mr. Greg Harris. And it'll bring up a third down situation.
Well, I think it was another miscue, Charlie. He had trips formations out to the left. He's looking to his left for perhaps Tim Barnett. Finally decides to come back to the right to Harris, who was covered quite close by Evers again. Incompleted forward pass. Bring up another third down passing situation.
Darrell Jones comes to the near side, as does Jimmy Smith, number 7, who's checked into the lineup, a freshman out of Jackson. And he's throwing it in the direction of Barnett. He was the closest man to it as the pursuit was being applied by Kenneth Johnson, the strong safety who came with the safety blitz.
What Jackson State has done employing this type of offense, it's almost like a quad formation. They've got the flanker and the tight end, and both backs move up in the slot, making it a quad formation. And what Florida A&M is doing, which is very intelligent, they're blitzing this formation because he's virtually got no protection in the backfield.
So Fred McRae will be back to punt it for the Tigers of Jackson State, with Howard Huckabee, the deep man, to receive it for Florida A&M. He has returned one already in the game, 74 yards for a touchdown. This one goes on the ground, and they're coming after it, but he gets it away. Huckabee will not get a chance to touch this one. And it'll be down at about the 20. Let's see where they're going to down it. Where it was first touched. At about the 27-28 yard line.
C.J. Manning.
Manning downed it for the Jackson State Tigers. So we look at another. Ezel will come back on. He is the man who started the game for Florida A&M. They took him out in place of Andre Williams in the second quarter, and now he's back in there. So Florida A&M gets the ball to start the second half. Their first offensive possession of the second half at their own 27-yard line. First down and 10. Ezel, the quarterback. Huckabee is the man in motion. On the option, Huckabee decides to keep it, but not much doing up in there. He does manage to scrape some yardage out to the 30-yard line. Hi, how are you? Anyway, here's Ezel. The stats on him in the first half was 1 for 3 in the passing department. 2 yards. That's all he was able to do. Second down, 7 after the gain of 3. Gainer was the big rushing back, and he has the ball in the first half. But they put a blue and white helmet on him and let him get to the 31, and that's it. Maybe a gain of 1 yard. It'll be third down and 6.
Fine defensive play then. Then run the curves. You watch it. Good force, good feel, and good containment. Here's the force. Here's the feel. Here's the containment. On a lot of other blue and white jerseys coming over in hot pursuit. As you mentioned, a gain of only 1 yard.
Florida A&M came into the game second in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference in scoring offense, 5th in passing offense, 6th in total offense and run offense. So look at the stat on Jackson State. That's in Division I AA. There's some heat. Gets a good block. Throws it out. Could have been intercepted. Did a lineman touch it? The way he threw that, it could have been intercepted.
Well, the heat was so relentless, Charlie. It looked like one of the on-rushing linemen barely got a piece of his arm as he tried to slingshot it. Here it is. There's the heat. Well, he was tripping.
Oh, it just hit the ground. Anthony Jamison, the center, who was the man who fell on it.
Here's the heat.
And the heat being applied by Charlie Jackson, number 73. As you look at Vaughn Wilson, who's back to punt for Florida A&M. Gets off a good one. Darrell Jones chasing it. He'll pick it up at the 18. And Darrell Jones is down at the 20-yard line after a 2-yard return.
Fine punt.
51-yard punt for Vaughn Wilson. So he's been hanging them. Look at this graphic. Do you know who led the Jackson State Tigers with the most interceptions?
You're reaching deep inside you. So things you've never known.
The school, especially as far as interceptions are concerned.
Well, I think he needs about 6 more, I believe.
Well, yes, he does. As Sean Gregory comes out to run the offense for W.C. Gordon, the Jackson State Tigers. And it's Tillman on the carry. Tillman trying to turn the corner, gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard, and that's it. The going's been rough for Tillman. The one good run he had in the first half was called back because of a holding penalty.
Certainly was. He had about a 30-yard jaunt there. Holding nullified the run. But you can best believe if he continues with the relentless effort that he's shown thus far in his individual effort, he's going to break another one.
Both teams had the ball a total of 7 possessions in the first half. Neither mounted any kind of a scoring threat. Play action. Gregory stands in there, throws it deep. Barnett, the intended receiver. A battle, and it's knocked down by Lowell Crawford, number 7. So the battle between Crawford and Barnett, for all practical purposes, Crawford won it because he knocked the ball away.
Certainly did. There's been great defensive play in the secondary of Florida A&M today. Each time Gregory's tried to go long to no avail.
4 straight incompletions for Jackson State and Sean Gregory. Jackson State came into the game averaging 209 yards rushing a game and 180 yards passing.
Here it is again. Crawford. Fine defensive play. Good bat down.
They're averaging 31 points a game while giving up an average of about 15. Gregory throws, has a complete first down across the 35 to the 36-yard line. And that is Greg Harris, number 13, a junior out of Greenwood, Mississippi. Here's a man who transferred from Mississippi Delta Junior College 2 years ago. And he got the nod to start today, even though Ron Lewis had been the starter. Ron Lewis was just a little banged up, a first-team All-SWAC player a year ago, number 87. But we have seen Lewis in there, but they've been using more of Jimmy Smith, along with Tim Barnett. Of course, Darren Easterling is the tight end, number 85. So it's a first down and 10. And it's Tillman in the open field. Midfield, and he dives close to the 45-yard line of Florida A&M. So when he gets going,
he's
watch
on
out.
his move. Yes, 15-yard jaunt then, Charlie. Prior to that play, the passing play, as we get a chance to see Tillman again. Watch him explode through the line of scrimmage here. Virtually on his own, nifty moves, shattering would-be tacklers, keeping his shoulders parallel to the line of scrimmage. Ground cannot cause a fumble. 15 yards on the play. First and 10. And Rattler territory.
With 10:40 left, third quarter, still 7-0. Tillman did not get the ball in the pressure, and another sack recorded by the Rattlers of Florida A&M. They were coming from the left side, and that charge led by Dwayne Butler, number 47, the linebacker out of Miami. He's a junior.
It's a pensive look on the face of one of the Rattlers. Pressure, play action pass to the right, no protection on the backside. Gregory feels the heat, tries to step up in the pocket. Again, Butler with the sack.
Darrell Davis was underneath the pile also. And it is second down. Just gets it off, intercepted. Should have been. There was nobody there but a Rattler, and he had a clear sail to the end zone, and that was Bill Evers, the junior, out of Cairo, Georgia. Bill Evers, number 17. He would like to have that one back. He didn't believe it was in his hands, probably. He said, I know he's not throwing it to me.
Ball was intended to Darrell Jones, and again, Gregory overthrows his intended receiver right into the hands of Bill Evers. Bill, as you mentioned, he was surprised more than anybody else in the stadium. Just couldn't hold on to the handle.
Supposed to knock him down, not catch him.
Tell you what, he'd have scored a touchdown had he held on to it.
About 48 yards he'd have gone. Third down, 16. Gregory trying to get away from the heat. Sidearms it down the field for Barnett. Intercepted. And it's Matt Fair with the interception for the Rattlers of Florida A&M. The senior out of DeLand, Florida. Second team all-conference a year ago, and his first interception of the year. This is only the second game he's played in.
Charlie, again, Florida A&M throwing everything at him except the kitchen sink, and sometimes the kitchen sink. Gregory scrambles for his life. He throws the ball, a rifle. Tim Barnett pulled up. He stopped running. He gave up on the pattern. Get a chance to see it again from another angle as he whirls away from Brewer. Here's a rifle pass intended for Tim Barnett. Coming up with the interception. Matt Fair, the free safety.
Punt, though.
Yeah, just as good as the punt. It was third down and about 15.
But they would rather have a touchdown or first down.
Or the punt. They hate to give away turnovers in this fashion.
There's Gaynor. That was the second turnover for Jackson State. Each team has turned the ball over twice in this ball game. Looking at the turnover takeaway ratio in the ball game, we find that Florida A&M in turnovers so far had lost 7 of 10 fumbles for 70%, and they had thrown 6 interceptions, so the total is 13. They were averaging 4.3 yards, 4.3 turnovers per ball game. As you look at some of the scores, 8th rated Albany State, a big win over Tuskegee today, SIAC style, 59-0. I'll tell you, they must have scored every time they had the ball, huh?
At least every other time.
Again, Gaynor, and he goes nowhere. Runs right into Pat Busby, number 91, the sophomore out of Clara High in Waynesboro, Mississippi.
Tell you what, all the time, it's not the offense that does the scoring. The defense, as well as the special teams, has been noted already by a 74-yard punt return by Huckabee. Here's Busby. He's caused a fumble today. He's been on quite a few tackles, and here he turns around Gaynor for about a 3-yard loss.
So it's third down, 14, ball at the 4. Gaynor runs into the brick wall.
Certainly does. And
Tammy Collins comes up to help out as you look at Busby. There he is, 6'2", 227, a sophomore.
And growing.
He's out in his own end zone. Throws it out of there, but nobody's there. Not to receive it anyhow. Morgan State loses to Bowie. Bowie 5-0 this year. That's quite an accomplishment.
Are they on a roll?
They are on a roll. Virginia State, they come out a big winner. They're ranked 11th in the Sheridan poll. They beat Livingstone. This was homecoming for Virginia State. Hampton at home against Morehouse wins it 28-0. They're ranked 12th in the Sheridan poll. Alabama A&M ranked 14th, wins it over Lane 17-0.
A lot of A goals in the score.
On Wilson gets it out of there, out of his own end zone. Darrell Jones will let it bounce, and it goes out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Timeout on the field. 8:02 left here in the third quarter. Some of the lovely crowd that's on hand here at the Hoosier Dome after that 52-yard did it the first year. Came back and did it again with Tennessee State in '85, and then it was Central State, Billy Joe's team, beating this Florida A&M squad. This was in Ken Riley's first year here, 41-3. Central State won it over Tennessee State last year, 31-28. And Florida A&M leading right now 7-0 with Jackson State in possession of the football at their own 43-yard line. It is first down and 10 with 8:02 left here in the third quarter. Charlie Neal and Lynn Barney with you here. This Circle City Classic. Pete Gregory sacked again. 2 in a row for Dwayne Butler, the junior linebacker out of Miami's Carroll City High. He's had 2 sacks in a row here in this ball game.
I tell you, Jackson State's offense has just been ineffective in picking up the blitz all day. Get a chance to watch it again as he comes from the backside. He beats number 74, offensive lineman Mario Thomas.
Well, they had the Butler blitzing. They also had the strong safety Kenneth Johnson, number 10, blitzing. Watch Johnson come from the right side.
That's why I say they're throwing everything but the kitchen sink, and sometimes the kitchen sink's all play.
Well, they read that. Number 96 defensively, Sean Brantley, a sophomore out of Hyattsville, Maryland's Northwestern High, came up and made the stop. He read that all the way. It was the draw play, and Brantley made the stop. 7 minutes remaining, exactly. Third quarter, still 7-0. And what has turned out to be a defensive battle. As I said, Jackson State came into the game averaging 31 points a contest. Florida A&M averaging 24. Throws it for Barnett. Almost had it. Should have had it. He should have had that one.
Like a concentration. Good coverage by Bill Everett. But again, as you mentioned, the ball was thrown to the correct side, away from the defender, out to the right side of the wide receiver. Here it is again. Little wobble on it, right there.
He had it.
Certainly should have. McNeil on again to do the punting chore. Going up a 4th down and 20 yards to go. Ball resting on Jackson State's 33-yard line.
And McRae back to do the punting for Jackson State. And a roughing the kicker penalty is going to be charged against Florida A&M as Huckabee grabs it and knocked out of bounds. But Florida A&M will be whistled for roughing the kicker. Eddie Battle, number 16, ran in to the punter, Fred McRae. Watch it right here, number 16.
Is it going to be an automatic first down because the yardage is not enough? It's a 15-yard penalty. Well, he could have been blocked into him, yes.
We don't have replay officials.
Certainly don't.
They have to take
he was
what
blocked
they see.
into him by Lee Holloway, the upback, number 30, who's a personal protector for the punter. Well, they're going to give him the first down, perhaps.
The referee is having trouble with that AstroTurf, isn't he?
That's Harvey. That's that invisible man.
On the defense. First down.
It's automatic.
The tripping is occurring by Harvey. He's a little invisible man. Here it is, number 30. Lee Holloway, who blocks the would-be ball blocker into the punter, McRae, but the official.
But they're saying the legs, I don't know. You know, you can always judge that about 10 different ways.
It's always a judgment call.
But it gives Jackson State new life and they keep the ball. First down and 10, and we have people jumping off sides right now. Now, whether they were drawn off is one thing. 2 flags are down. We'll wait and see.
There it is. Nobody moved there.
They're going to move this one against Florida A&M.
Here it is, a nose guard.
Offside, still first down.
That's Irvin Clark, 76.
Clear cut.
1st and 5. Ball at the 47-yard line of Florida A&M. Tillman. Inside the 35 to the 32-yard line goes Lewis Tillman. About 15 yards on that run.
He is the workhorse. He's been the workhorse to date for Jackson State. Coming in the game.
78 yards so far on 15 carries. He had 33 at the half. So he has 45 yards so far here in the second half. It is 1st and 10. Jackson State, 6:12 remaining, 3rd quarter. Pressure, throws, complete. Barnett inside the 15 to the 14, 1st and 10, Jackson State. The offense is starting to click now for the Tigers.
Certainly is. Covering on the play again, Crawford. Has been the Crawford and Barnett show, basically, offensively and defensively for both Jackson State. Here's Tim Barnett out in. He split out to his left side. Simple curl pattern. Runs him off with that little crow hop. Here comes Crawford, playing the cushion a little too soft. Here's a fine throw and catch. Gregory over the head spiral, connecting with Barnett. Crawford comes up to make the stop after the 1st and 10, after 15.
Tillman inside the 10 to the 8-yard line.
Again, you see the offensive pulling guards. They're playing it just a little too soft at the point of contact once they pulled around the corner. And as a result, it slows up the ball carrier.
So Tillman has him down to the 8-yard line, where it is 2nd down and 4 for the Jackson State Tigers. Deepest penetration for either team in this ball game.
Offensively.
Again, in the air by Darrell Davis, the junior, number 51.
Came in unscathed, untouched. Somebody missed a block. Fine individual tackle.
Lost a yard on that.
Here's your play again. You got a lead blocker there, number 36. Number 36 is in the role of Terry Hopper. Hopper may have been the man who missed the block on Davis. Loss of 1. Ball on the 9-yard line. 3rd down and 5 to go.
Gregory wants to throw it. Looks, has a man over there.
Wide open.
The freshman. Touchdown. Jimmy Smith. Now, he hasn't played at all this year. That's the first reception he has made.
So he's got a great average coming into this ball.
Certainly does. He ran a little post corner.
There's Sasquatch outside the dressing room. Here it is again. Play action pass from the I formation. Gregory semi-rolls to his left, backs off. Waits to number 7. Again, Jimmy Smith ran a little simple corner pattern, wide open.
And he beat Matthew Fair over there. Here's for the point after to tie. The kick is up.
Count it.
And it's good. Just made it. As Ohamba Osa, a freshman out of Nigeria, kicks it through, and it's all tied at 7 apiece. To the freshman receiver, Jimmy Smith. That capped a 57-yard drive. The point after was good. As we look at it right there in the corner of the end zone, he beats Matthew Fair, one of the best in the secondary for Florida A&M. So now, again, Jackson State will kick it off. The man kicking off is Billy Smith.
Short end over end kick. You better hurry coverage. Jackson State can run with it. Yes, he can. Yes,
he can't run with it.
Okay.
But he can recover it.
Am I excited or what?
Somebody was asleep for Florida A&M.
One of the upbacks, one of the linemen that was in the wedge, employed in the wedge to block. The ball is still live. It's alive. Yes, it is. It's a mental error. He'll get an ME on his grade out sheet. The ball was live after 10 yards of coverage. Here it is again.
Everybody's standing there watching it.
There are 3 men there that are just standing there watching it.
Including Huckabee.
Yes. Hard
and
to
a very alert Isaac Morehouse picks it up, but they can't advance it. So Jackson State gets the ball. Pressure coming from behind. And the quarterback is ripped down.
94,
by Brian Brewer.
All-American candidate for 88.
And they lose yards on that.
I tell you, they're blitzing every time Jackson State fades back to pass. It's an automatic almost. Get a chance to watch it again. Play action pass. Number 64 should be blocking Brewer. Derek Lockridge.
So all you need is one mistake here, one mistake there, and you're right back in the ball game as far as you let the other team back in the ball game.
A mistake like that again can cost them their quarterback.
Well, you got to remember that Florida A&M was penalized for roughing the kicker. That kept the drive alive for Jackson State. The throw again, intercepted. Sean Williams run out of bounds in front of his own bench and a flag, face mask against Jackson State. So Sean Williams, the junior, picks off his second interception of the year out of Decatur, Georgia.
The young man who caught the touchdown, as we get a chance to see, Jimmy Smith is hopping off the field. Here it is again, blitz, again, relentless pressure. I mean, ominous pressure. The ball was tipped, intended for Darrell Jones. Coming up with the interception, number 25 for the Rattlers.
That's the third turnover for Jackson State today. Our referee.
Face mask on the defense. First down.
So Florida A&M, after the takeaway, gets the ball first down and 10. They get a break after the middle era on the kickoff. And they'll get the ball at their own 48-yard line. First down and 10.
Face mask given to Tim Brown, offensive lineman who came up to help make the stop.
Again, Ezel still in there at quarterback. Another running back in the ball game now, and that's Oscar Harris, a senior, out of Tampa's Chamberlain High. Oscar Harris running the ball.
Good individual effort because he was stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Turnover ratio. Jackson State 3, Florida A&M 2.
I mentioned that coming into the game, Florida A&M was averaging 4 turnovers a ball game. Jackson State was averaging 2. Jackson State is ahead in that department right now. Not a statistic you like to be proud of. Murder at the 30. Huh?
Yes, sir. Fine defense. Good force, good field, good tackle. Forced by number 46, Michael Wallace. Number 50 in, helping on the stop from his linebacker position. Michael Hobson. Here it is again. Toss lead. Puller and a lead blocker. Good force there by Michael Wallace.
Let that little man carry the ball. He's only 5'5", 175 pounds in there. He's got his kill back there. He's third down.
Here's some heat. Here's some heat.
Steps away. Ezel pulls up.
Almost a face mask.
But he'll be knocked down right at the line of scrimmage. The relentless heat, as you said, Lim.
Yes, sir.
And it was Steve Gregory, number 42, the senior out of Steens, Mississippi. New Hope High.
3 downs and out, it seems like, for both offenses thus far. Watch the heat, Charlie. Relentless. Ominous pressure. Watch number 73, Charles Jackson. For a big guy, 6'4", 297. Is he quick?
Oh,
Watch. Almost a face mask.
Steve Gregory, the man who made the stop, is the brother of the quarterback, Sean Gregory, the older brother. He's a senior. Vaughn Wilson with the punt. Darrell Jones hoping to go into the end zone.
Not hoping. Not hoping. Pray.
So there's a timeout on the field after another punt, the third punt in the second half by Florida A&M. A minute 20 left third quarter. It's tied at 7.
Men who wear S-curl have strong power.
Bob Lanier, former All-Pro with the Detroit Pistons and Milwaukee Bucks.
Now he's representing Miller Lite, the Miller Lite celebrity.
You're lucky we let you in the booth, you know.
I got to move the can.
Always good to see you, Bob. How you doing? How are things going?
I'll tell you, good. You know, one of the key reasons we're down here because we're trying to raise funds for Thurgood Marshall Black Education Fund. And Miller Lite gave a check, a great donation to give to help to keep the black colleges open, and that's a thing we're trying to concede.
Tillman on the carry. Tillman finally brought down by Matthew Fair, but not before he came to a first down across the 30 to the 31-yard line. So he's starting to feel it. They're coming to life. With 1:14, he's at 93 yards. Came into the game averaging 119 yards per carry. He's close to it. And we talked about the fact that he's closing in on Walter Payton's record. At the rate that he's going, around November 5th or 12th, he could break it, the all-time school career record.
There's an offside against the defense. Bob, again, we'd like to salute you as well as the Miller Lite Brewing Company for your support with the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. You were here last year in the same role.
You know, you said that so eloquently, man. Where did you get your education from?
Jackson State
University. Look here, I got to go, guys. It's been a pleasure being with y'all for this short period of time. It's good to see y'all again.
Always good, Bob.
To see you, Bob.
Probably see you at the CIAA, if not before.
Yeah, and something else.
Maybe the Bayou Classic.
Southern down there with Southern University.
Southern and Grambling, yes. Superdome. 26th of November.
Oh, I love it.
2 days after Thanksgiving. Love to the family.
Yo. We'll see you. Bob Lanier. One of the great ones. As Tillman carries the ball, gains maybe a yard. It is after the penalty of offsides against Florida A&M. It was 1st and 5. He gained maybe a yard, make it 2nd down and 4. Tillman, in 9 of the last 10 games, he's gained 100 or more yards.
He's heading for 100 today as well, Charlie.
Not much doing that time. They go straight ahead.
Another outstanding All-Pro Hall of Famer is entered into the booth. It's
timeout on the field as the 3rd quarter comes to an end from the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis. It's all tied at 7 between the Rattlers and the Tigers. Will be much of fun. And that player's name from Jackson State, Lewis Tillman, a 3.0 grade point average in marketing. Young man who's going to graduate in December, and from Florida A&M. Young man, his name is Eddie Metcalf, the junior linebacker from Panacea, Florida. 3.02 grade point average in free law. Right now, 3rd down and 4 for Jackson State. A throw complete. And trying to break away to get the sweet towel. Greg Harris, if he took that sweet towel off, he might have had a touchdown.
At least 20 more yards.
And something to hold on to.
Again, Florida A&M came with the blitz against Jackson State. Here it is. Look at the outside people coming in. A very well-formed pocket, a good pocket for protection, and he hits the Harris out in the flats for the 1st down yardage.
John Gregory. 1st down and 10, Jackson State. The time remaining is 14:35 in the ball game. 4th quarter just started. Tillman, submarine by Irvin Clark, number 76. Not much doing that time. Also, he got some help in there with number 95, Lamar Glover.
It is again. They snuffed a hole in.
Another All-Pro in the booth with us right now, the Big O, as he's affectionately known. Look that way, Oscar.
Yes.
Let everybody see you. Oscar Robertson, always good to see you.
Well, this is home for me.
I know. All these basketball players at this football game.
Well, you know, we all played football or something at one time, but I wasn't that great at it, really.
Here's Darryl Jones trying to turn the corner. Running room and gets a 1st down inside the 45 to about the 43-yard line. Darryl Jones. Now here's a young man who unfortunately is stuck in a backup role behind because Lewis Tillman is so good. He could be a starter on a lot of teams.
Yes, he could, Charlie. You get a chance to see why he could be a starter. Look at him following that lead blocker. Stays right on his hips. Sees a bit of daylight and then bursts into a starburst for a 1st down. Well, at least they're trying to mark it. Charlie, you mentioned the fact about Oscar, a great All-Pro, Hall of Famer. I had a chance to play basketball with Oscar this year.
With or against?
With. No, I didn't want to play against him. We played in a celebrity tribute basketball game at Madison Square Garden, a tribute to Joe DiMaggio that was put on by the Franciscan Sisters of the Poor.
It was a very nice time. I think the Franciscans ought to do a great for some of the elderly people of our country. But we had a nice time. I tell you, hey, Lynn was a hell of a point guard. He dishes it out to everybody.
Well, I saw Oscar. I know I had a chance to do a couple of the, as they call the old-timer games, at the NBA All-Star game. Last time I saw you was in Seattle 2 years ago. But you lost a little weight, haven't you?
Well, I'm working on it. I'm
working on it. That's good, though. Darryl Jones. Whoa! 30. Loses his mouthpiece and out of bounds at the 27. Darryl Jones, as I talked about the fact that Lewis Tillman is the man, but Darryl Jones, this is a man who's a very capable backup.
Yes, he is, Charlie. He's a man on a mission. He's a small man in stature, but his character is overwhelming.
And it's another first down for the Tigers of Jackson State.
He only goes 5'8", 165 pounds, but he runs like he's about 260.
And he's down right now.
He may have just got the wind knocked out of him. We pray that that's all it is.
Came into the game with no touchdown so far this year, but he had run 13 times for 47 yards, 3.6 average, but he makes his keep on the special teams as a kick returner. He is one of the top in the nation in punt returns, ranked 10th in the NCAA and 3rd in the conference and punt returns. As far as kickoff returns, he had an 82-yarder that he ran back against Mississippi Valley a week ago, so he can do it. Next week, we'll be down in Ruston, Louisiana. Grambling, Louisiana, as you might want to say, right down the road at Grambling State University, as the Tigers of Grambling State take on the Tigers of Tennessee State. Another intersectional matchup with these two fine institutions. And Eddie Robinson just continues to roll on and on and on.
I'll tell you what, you said Grambling and Ruston. Pretty soon, I think maybe after Eddie retires, they might even call it Robinson, Louisiana.
Well, we'll be at Robinson Stadium. Darryl Jones still down on the sideline. We'll take a timeout. 13-16, the time remaining here in the ball game. And it's all tied at 7 apiece. 5 yards rushing a week ago against Howard University, and that enabled the Bulldogs to snap a 2-game losing streak and hand Howard University their first loss of the year. So congratulations to James Darby. South Carolina State Bulldogs, also their quarterback, did a great job.
Outstanding job. Oscar, I'd like to ask you a question. How did the tennis tournament come out this year?
Very nice. We had a lot of participation, a lot of some movie stars and ex-athletes, some present athletes. It was a very worthwhile cause for a good charity.
Tillman.
Next year, I hope to play in it.
Tillman runs into a brick wall.
Can you hit it good?
Well, not bad. You know, we had a chance to play in the Bombay Gent Celebrity out in San Diego a few years ago.
A year on then.
12:40, the time remaining. It is second down and about 8 with the ball at the 24-yard line. Play coming in from the sideline. Jimmy Smith bringing it in. Greg Harris is going out. Tillman, the second back. Terry Harper, the fullback. We haven't seen him carry the ball that much. In fact, coming into the game, he'd only carried it 3 times. And here, fumble, leather, and Florida A&M may have gotten it back.
Jackson State may have recovered. Florida A&M.
Darrell Davis really put the helmet on Lewis Tillman, number 51. 75 down at the bottom of the pile for Jackson State, coming up with the fumble recovery.
Jeff Dawkins.
That's the freshman out of Miami. Watch the hit here. Number 51. Darrell Davis. So it's a third down situation. 7 yards to go. Ball at the 23. Vicious hit ball.
Really was. Looked like he had tunnel vision. He was looking straight ahead and didn't see Davis.
Put that shoulder pad on him. Gregory trying to escape the heat. Pulls up, throws. Could have been intercepted. And it was Davis who had his hands on it once again, number 51.
Darren Easterling, the tight end, the ball intended for. Semi-rollout to his left, running away from relentless pressure again. Didn't have a chance to set up, as you'll see it again. Play action fake. Here's a pursuit by number 47 once again.
This is going to be very interesting. The kicker is Osa Ahonva out of Nigeria. He replaces Gabriel Uriri, who graduated, who was a first-team all-conference kicker. Never played football until this year.
Good snap, good hold.
Kick is up. 33-yarder, no good. Off to the left. But he had the foot. He just missed to the left. So Ahamba, he was 2 of 3 against Prairie View. He has kicked a 36-yarder. This one was a 33-yarder, and he just missed it.
Had the range again, as you mentioned. Hook wide left.
Oh, the 33-yard attempt and the chance to put Jackson ahead falls short. And it'll be a first down and 10 for the Rattlers of Florida A&M, who will get the ball at their own 23-yard line.
Time still ticking. 11 minutes, 48 seconds remaining in this, the fourth and final period.
Tied at 7. Florida A&M with the ball. Ezel still in at quarterback. Remember, they switched quarterbacks in the second quarter. Not much going that time. 11:33 as the clock continues to run. It is second down after a gain of about 2. Second and 8. Ball spotted at the 26-yard line. Here's the time. Jackson State, one offensive surge with the help of a defensive penalty. Florida A&M has not threatened to score offensively.
There's heat.
And incomplete. The closest man to it was Troy Allen, the tight end. Or was that Ronald Vickers? Might have been Troy Allen. But it falls incomplete.
Jackson State's defense is not putting the pressure on the quarterback, as is the Rattlers defense on Gregory, quarterback for Jackson State University. Ken Riley, number 13. You think he thinks or believes the number 13 was bad luck? Had 15 years in the NFL.
Ezel, 1 for 4 yards passing. There's a heat. They're coming again. Steps up. Not much running room there. He tried to dodge Kevin Dent, who was coming up in front of him, but missed the man coming up from behind him.
That's the way it looks defensively. I'd have tried to avert Kevin Dent also. All-American.
Darrell Mason was the man who caught him from behind. Fourth down. Vaughn Wilson to punt it away. 10:30 remaining.
Jackson State should have fine field position after they relinquish the ball over by way of punt.
The deep man is Greg Harris, replacing Darrell Jones, who's been shaken up. They came after it.
No penalty.
Nope, they think it was some theatrics.
Ball on the ground, fumble.
Yes.
No fumble.
They're going to give it to Florida A&M. Greg Harris coughed it up before he hit the ground. And Florida A&M alert that time, unlike what they did on the kickoff return. The man right there on the spot, and they'll get the ball and retain possession. Let's watch it.
Here it is. The ball never hit the ground. Obviously, he's still twisting and turning. I don't know. He was on the ground, Charlie. He was on the ground. Looked like when the ball bobbled. I know I'm a bit partial, being a Jackson State alumnus. But it looked like...
I wonder why.
I'm ready to jump out of this booth now.
Oh, that's kind of tough.
That was. It was a tough call.
That's one of those NFL replay type jobs. But again, not in the college way. They keep it. Here's Gaynor with some run. Room. Runs out of bounds. At about the 22-yard line. Gaynor with a good run that time.
The reason it happened, it was a good force, good field, but no containment. Force destroyed the interference, the blockers. The field was there, but no containment.
Was that the cornerback that came up that time?
Yes, it was. Cornerback had the force.
He let him get outside.
Well, he had to take on the blockers. Watch this. There's the blocker. There's the field man. No contained man. Contained man a little slow getting over.
Huckabee in motion. Second down. Straight ahead. Right into the gut.
Another shoe loss.
The shoes are flying a long ways, aren't they?
Shoes and mouthpieces.
Oscar Harris.
And bodies.
It's heating up here in the last 10 minutes.
Indeed it is. The Rattlers percussion section, as you can hear them so clearly.
There will be a battle of the bands afterward. So if you missed it at halftime, If you're here, stay. I see a stretcher going over to the Jackson State side. I think that maybe Darryl Jones is the man that they may be intending it for. He was carried off, and we hope that it's nothing too serious. That ball carried that time for Florida A&M by Stacy LeMay, sophomore fullback out of Newark, New Jersey, number 32. Again with the carry to the 10. He has the first down. That was what they were trying to get. So they bring in Stacy LeMay, and he gets them a first down. It'll be first and goal at the 10-yard line for Florida A&M. So a quick turn of events. Florida A&M was thinking that they should have gotten a roughing the kicker penalty. It didn't happen, but then the special teams go downfield and they do a good job creating a turnover.
Did an excellent job in relatively fine field position as they're threatening to score here.
Off the right side.
Gainer.
Derek Gainer down inside the 8 to about the 7-yard line. You're the defensive back here.
That's the way it looks defensively.
Hammy Collins comes up to help out to make the stop. 8 minutes and 5 seconds remaining. It's tied at 7. It is second down and goal. The ball resting just outside the 7-yard line. Charlie Neal, Lem Barney, and of course the Big O with you, Oscar Robertson.
I'm just listening to you guys. Great.
And hurtling to the 5 is Gainer again, trying to go up and over. To get a little rambunctious down there.
Here's a lead. You got to pull guard also. Gainer decides to take it up the middle where he saw a bit of air. Got in the air. Still third down and goal. Ball's at the 5-yard line. They've got 2 downs to virtually try and get it in, or at least in relatively fine field position for the field goal.
Darryl Jones, we talked about, was injured on a fine run, and they brought the stretcher on for him. We hope and pray that it's nothing too serious.
There's Leggett. James Leggett, an offensive lineman, also number 68, is walking on crutches as we get a timeout.
Florida A&M called the timeout. 7:50. It's nothing too serious, but the stretch has been brought on the far sideline in front of the Jackson State bench, and he is on it right now. Right now it's third and goal for Florida A&M at
Look
the
for
5.
a play action. No, not a play action. They tried to run it.
And they tried to run it with LeMay, and LeMay is stopped in his tracks. Now, if you go down to the kicking game in this particular point, we saw what happened with Ohamba with the 33-yard field goal attempt. Now will be James Bertuno to try it as LeMay is stopped. Kevin Dent leading the charge, along with Steve Gregory. As you look at LeMay coming off, this will be a 21-yard field goal attempt by James Bertuno, who is 4 for 4 coming into the game. First attempt today. It's up. It is good. He is perfect this year. 5 for 5, and he puts Florida A&M ahead with 6:37 remaining. The score 10-7. Bertuno against Tennessee State. That's next week, 8 p.m. live right here on BET. We'll be down at Grambling for that one. Bertuno has the ball on the tee. He kicked 4 field goals a week ago of 23, 35, 44, and 42 yards. Florida A&M's win over Tennessee State. He has one here today, and he's getting ready to kick it off. Drake Harris, the deep man. Jackson State on the return. Lee Holloway, a reserve running back out of Biloxi, Mississippi, number 30 on the return. And he brings it out to about the 35, 36-yard line. They'll spot it at the 35. It'll be first down and 10 for Jackson State at their own 35.
Lee Holloway, an outstanding high school ball player down on the coast, 8 miles from me in Gulfport, Mississippi. Outstanding ball player.
Sean Gregory asking the band to be quiet. There's a scoring drive. Remember, they got that ball at the 33 after the
fumble
recovery and the fumble on the punt return. Sean Gregory goes back on first down, throws over the middle, has it complete to Tillman, coming out of the backfield at the 39-yard line. It is second down after a gain of about 3 or 4 on the play. Second down, 6 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. We just saw one of our old guys come back. Felton. Don't tell nobody. Don't tell. Well, we're going to tell him anyhow. Jim Felton. One of our. Just walked in and said hello. 5:55 remaining.
Winslow Jeffries also.
Everybody's back for this one. Off the hands of the intended receiver.
Lee Holloway.
Holloway.
Just as I gave him some outstanding praise, ball a little bit too high. Bit too high. Good shot of Lee.
.548, the time remaining. It is third down, 7 at the 39 for the Tigers of Jackson State, trailing by a score of 10-7. Gregory again. They tried to blitz. It was picked up pretty good. He's still in there, and he will lose yards back to the 35. So to bring up a fourth down situation once again for the Tigers of Jackson State, and to bring on a punting situation. And if you remember the last time, there was a punt, not by Jackson State, by the way, but the ball takes 20 bounces.
Certainly does. Again, Jackson State shows the ineffectiveness to handle the blitz by Florida A&M, and it's been a good weapon for Florida A&M all afternoon.
McRae, who's done a pretty good job punting the ball, has had good hang time so far today. High snap, gets it down, and it's Huckabee trying to turn the corner. Still on his feet. Still rolling down to the 45-yard line. So Huckabee with a return after a 37-yard punt. And it's first down and 10 for Florida A&M.
Some of the partisan crowd that's on hand here in the 5th annual Circle City Classic, played here in the Hoosier Dome, home of the Indianapolis Colts.
From their own 46-yard line, Florida A&M goes to work, first down and 10 with 4:57 left in the ball game. Hand off to the little guy Daniels, and Daniels gets maybe a yard. Chris Daniels, sophomore out of Arcadia, Florida. Went to DeSoto High down there. 5'5", 175-pounder. His longest run this year was an 8-yarder.
Toss lead to the short side of the field, coming up from his linebacker's position. Darian Corner getting one hand on him, slowing him up until he got help from his friends. A gain of a yard.
Clock running down. 4:24 on this 5th annual Circle City Classic. Timeout, Florida A&M. That is the second one, so they should only have one remaining. Yes, Jackson State still has all of 3. 4:15 left. Circle City Classic, and it's Florida A&M and Jackson State doing battle right now. The Rattlers enjoying a 3-point advantage, and they have the ball with a second down and 9 at their own 48-yard line. They lead it 10-7. And they hand off to Sean Gilliam. And it's now back to the line of scrimmage. That's all for Sean Gilliam, the junior out of Tallahassee, with the FAMU high. Patrick Parker on the stop for the Tigers of Jackson State. Florida A&M coming in with Harry Brown, the tight end, reserve tight end. Third down, 9 to go, working out of the I formation. pitch, and it's still loose.
Jackson State's ball.
Jackson State does get it back. Andre Williams came in again, the quarterback. He has not played that well when he was in there, and I'm trying to understand why he is in the lineup right now. They're leading unless they just want to keep the ball on the ground.
Well, Charlie, Andre Williams is the option type quarterback, and he's been employed all year.
That was not a good
fit. Senior. No, it wasn't. It was a bad decision on his part to pitch the ball, and the ball that just bounces haphazardly right inside the out-of-bound line. Jackson State recovers, 49-yard line of Florida A&M, 1st and 10. 3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the contest.
Third turnover by Florida A&M. Gregory to Tillman, and Tillman is out for about 3 yards to about the 46-yard line.
And if Jackson State is going to either win this game or tie it up, they're going to have to do something on this possession. They cannot relinquish the ball without coming away with some type of score. It's an injured man on the field for Florida A&M.
With 3:14 remaining. Man down for Florida A&M.
Davis.
And he's played a whale of a ball game.
Indeed he has.
There's a timeout on the field with 3:14 as they attend to Darrell Davis, the junior from Miami. We'll be back. We're at the Hoosier Dome.
Please send your check or money order to BET, Post Office Box 25091, Washington, D.C. 288.
Back to live action here at the Hoosier Dome. While you were away, we had one play run. That was a 15-yard completion from Sean Gregory to Darren Easterling, and he picked up a first down. And that last carry by... Here's the completion that you missed.
Here's the pass play. Good play action pass. They picked up the blitz there again. Easterling, the tight end, the recipient. Last play.
And Tillman
2-yard gain by Lewis Tillman.
And it's 2nd down and 8. And Jackson State trying to get something going. And again, it's Easterling on the reception down to the 25. He's about a yard shy of a first down. So Darren Easterling, who came into the game with only 2 receptions and no touchdowns, has 2 receptions in this last 3 plays. 1 minute and 45, the clock running. Janae Dubois. I guess that's the way you pronounce that. Is
that's
that
correct?
You have to remember her as Winona.
That's
from
right.
Good Times. I was in love with you. What happened?
You in love with me?
the whole world still is in love with you.
Is that good enough?
Oh, you look well, girl.
Thank
How are
you.
you doing? What are you doing with yourself nowadays?
I'm having a ball here in Indianapolis. This is a wonderful town. I've had a wonderful time, and it's the first football game I've ever seen.
Is that
First?
right?
I don't see football games, but this is exciting. Absolutely.
Well, I'm glad. What else is happening
I
career-wise?
have a new movie coming out in December called I'm Going to Get You, Sucker.
Uh-oh.
I don't want to touch that, Charlie.
No, it's a great comedy. I hope you look at it in December.
Well, we definitely will. What's happening with you keep in touch with all the people from the old I say the old school from the show?
Good Times, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, Esther, I saw her last week. We're working together on the homeless group out there, you know, trying to keep some homes. And I saw Janet Jackson not too long ago. Is she pretty?
Yes, she is.
And I saw Ralph. I see them all once in a while.
Well, that's good. I'll tell you, you were such an energy person as far as the Good Time show was concerned. I think that's what everybody loved about the show is the energy that you portrayed and brought to the show. And
Thank you.
Always a pleasure. Janae Dubois. I want to say that right.
Say it right. You said it right. You said it nice.
We certainly hope that this is not your last game that you attend. Do you like college football?
I'm in love now. I've fallen in love today. I have fallen in love.
That's all right.
Who are you rooting for?
And the guys in the orange.
Florida A&M.
Okay.
You know, a friend of mine is in orange. He said, the guy over there with the orange, so I'm looking at that team.
We can get off
the whole action.
We can get her off now.
I can go now. Wrong name, wrong game.
First down, they try it. Sean Gregory wants to keep it, and let's see. They may have to measure. It's going to be close, and they may have it. He had to get just across the 41-yard line, and he looks like he surged to the 42. Florida A&M, meanwhile, just spent their last time out of the ball game.
Here's that 3rd down attempt to keep the drive alive. They collected the necessary yardage for the first down. A minute, 28 seconds remaining in this, the final period.
This could be one of those hijinks, last second type plays. And we'd like to thank Janae Dubois for stopping by and saying hello to us and wish her much success with her upcoming movie.
Thank you so much.
Tillman trying to dance outside, still on his feet inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line. They'll mark it at the 17. Lewis Tillman. A minute and 5. The clock is still running.
Timeout is now being called.
Now Jackson State will use a timeout. No, they will not call a timeout. There's an injured player down. That's why the timeout is being called right now. James Rush, number 44, was in there to block for Tillman. Is the one that's down. He's a senior out of Hamilton, Mississippi, 5'10", 218. And they're attending to him right now. Again, want to remind you that next week, Lem and I and the entire BET staff travel down to Grambling State University as the Tigers of Grambling State host the Tigers of Jackson State, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 Central, right here on BET. Tennessee, you'll see. Where are you living, Janae, while you're here?
Los Angeles. Oh, right here? Embassy Suites.
No.
No.
What's your room number?
We're not doing that. I already goofed on the team.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
No, the only reason we were getting on, the only reason he's kidding you about the teams is he was a Jackson State graduate, team in the white. So that's why. I'm glad there's somebody else up here besides him. Tillman straight ahead to the 15-yard line. After the second down, he still has about a yard to go, or 2, yard and a half, let's say, for a first down.
Clock
It'll bring up a
again.
third down. And now Jackson State uses its first timeout.
2 remaining.
They have 2 left. Florida A&M has used all of its timeouts. There's a timeout on the field. We'll take one also. As 47,000 move with saxophonist Grover Washington Jr. And then on Wednesday, meet the offbeat members of Cameo. Weeknights at 9 Eastern. Donnie Simpson is your host. There he is. He's not here, ladies.
Affectionately remembered in Detroit as a love bug.
That's right. Donnie Simpson on Video Soul. 46 seconds remaining. Tillman trying for the first down. Does not get it. And one of the men up front was Kenneth Johnson, number 10, the senior out of Thomaston, Georgia. And now Jackson State will use its second timeout with 36 seconds remaining. The story of the game right now, as you look at Eddie Metcalf, the junior, he's our Toyota winner from the Florida A&M Rattlers. Honorable mention all conference a year ago. A walk-on from Panacea, Florida, Wakulla High. He's looking over to the sideline to talk things over with the coach as Jackson State uses his second timeout. The story right now, it's a 10-7 ball game. Florida A&M is on top by 3. 36 seconds remaining. Jackson State trying to get into the end zone. And we'll be back. This drive started at their own 49-yard line 3 minutes ago. They've used up 3 minutes of the clock. At the 3-minute and 30-second mark. 36 seconds remaining. They're going to go for it. An illegal motion. That's going to, I'll tell you, who was the guilty man that time? He still has his head down. There he is, number 75. For Jackson State.
Jeff Dawkins.
And I know he's probably feeling worse than anybody.
Well, I'm sure they're going to go with the place kicker now. Or so.
You almost have to. Because that's a 5-yard penalty. Now, instead of trying it on 4th and 1 after the illegal procedure against Jeff Dawkins, here's a field goal attempt to tie it. From 35, 36 yards out by Ahumba. It's up. It's long enough. It is good. to Ahumba with his third field goal of the year. He missed one earlier from 33 yards out. This one was good from 36. We'll be back. Let's watch it.
Ball had the same distance, same carry as the other one, but this time didn't hook wide of the goalpost. Tied scores, 10-10. We'll be back in a moment.
Question now is, will they kick it away? Will it be an onside kick? 31 seconds of time remaining with Ahumba. If you look at that one, they used 3 minutes off the clock.
I wonder what kind of guaranteed play, a high percentage play they had to try and run on 4th and 1. Had the offensive right guard Dawkins hadn't jumped. Had to be something high percent. That's still a mystery, right? Tell you what, it's really built up to all the drama and excitement of a cliffhanger, a nail biter.
Well, I know Jackson State doesn't want another tie. They have one already this year. Tennessee State, second year in a row they tied Tennessee State. Tied them last year 17-all. Here's Huckabee at the 12. Watch out. Don't let him loose. Flag is down, though. And they hog tie him. All kinds of flags down.
I think the first flag we see right about the 24-yard line may be holding or either illegal blocking against Florida A&M.
A well officiated game.
Very well officiated game. Holding. Illegal use of hands. Florida A&M guilty.
23 seconds is the time remaining in this one. Broadcast cable rights to today's game presented to BET by the Circle City Classic people. Any rebroadcast or other use of the telecast without express written permission of the Circle City.
Holding on the orange. First down.
Circle City Classic is prohibited. Announcer selected and paid by BET. 23 seconds to time remaining in this one.
Prevent defense for Jackson State University. I doubt if Florida A&M will really try to do anything that's spectacular. 23 seconds remaining. No.
They're just going to settle for the tie, looks like. Crowd doesn't like it.
Certainly don't.
Battle of the bands coming up. Stay tuned as the clock ticks down. 12 seconds left. Florida A&M had no timeouts, and they didn't want to take a chance. So even though Jackson State has one, they didn't use theirs. The clock is down to 0. So the final from the 5th annual Circle City Classic here in Indianapolis is Florida A&M 10, Jackson State 10. We're going to be joining BET News in progress. And there's the final as Ken Riley goes over. Shake hands with W.C. Gord. 10-10, the final here from Florida A&M's Howard Huckabee. Their reserve split in, ran back a punt, 74 yards for a touchdown, and there are Anheuser-Busch most valuable players. There's Lewis Tillman, the young man who is our MVP from Jackson State. Each week at this time, we take a look at the sure move of the game, brought to you by Sure Antiperspirant. And the sure move of the game occurred here. Howard Huckabee fielding the ball, and this is the 74-yard punt return that opened up the scoring in this ball game. It occurred in the first quarter with 11:35 remaining. He makes a nifty move to slide across field, running like Walter Payton there, sliding across and finally going 74 yards. This week's sure move occurred during the first quarter. There's Huckabee of Florida A&M made a sure move on Jackson State. Sure move, when you make a move, be confident with Sure and be just as sure about odor as you are about wetness. Next week, we'll be down at Grambling State University as the Tigers of Grambling State host the Tigers of Tennessee State. And we'd like to thank all the people who made our job a little easier. Kirk Simmons, our producer. Mel Muldoon, our director. Nicole Watson, who's leaving us. We'll say goodbye to Nikki, Thomason, and the rest of the crew. For Lee Chapin, our statistician, and everybody else. Lem Barney, Charlie Neal saying so long from the Hoosier Dome and the 5th annual Circle City Classic. The final score, Florida A&M 10 and Jackson State 10. So long.